What's going on, beautiful people? I experienced an issue trying to find helpful support docs with trying to factory reset my new Omada OC220 controller. So pretty important. So I want to get the rest of my devices up to date. So I thought I'd throw together a quick little helpful guide for others that maybe are experiencing these same issues as me. So first of all, here it is, Omada OC220 controller. I'm gonna take it slow for everyone, skip through and get a transcript if you're chomping at the bit. But basically we have two Ethernet ins. Typically it's gonna be powered upstream by another switch, PoE switch and Ethernet PoE1. And when I was doing factory resets, I was using PoE and hitting the reset button, as that's what showed in most of the support materials I saw, and I was having a ton of problems with that. So long story short, I recognized that you could actually use the micro USB controller on the back here. And ultimately, the only thing that really worked for me was getting to the recovery web interface that only appears after powering on. For me, the only way this worked was through the micro USB and using a direct connection through Ethernet 2 to a static IP on my computer. I'll kind of walk you through those steps and show you how to get there, and hopefully this alleviates some frustrations on your side. So what we're doing is called a forced recovery via hardware reset during power on. The things that you're going to need, I have a MacBook today. You can do this on Windows. Extrapolate what I tell you to Windows, it's going to be the same thing, but we're going to need some sort of network interface card that can be on board with your computer. I have a little dongle that kind of looks like this and allows me to use the USB-C port on the side of my computer to talk locally to things. I'm on a MacBook, so ultimately that's the easiest way for me to talk to something like the Omada controller. And you're gonna need a network cable, obviously, and find a USB micro if you still have one of those hanging out somewhere. So if you've used, and however you can power it, it's 5 volt, 1 amp. That's all it needs. It'll negotiate that if you just even plug into a USB outlet on the wall. So I have a USB-A to micro USB, and that's how I'm getting this done. So I'm gonna scoot out of the way a little bit here, and we'll look at what these instructions are from top to bottom. First, we're gonna go into our network locally on our computer. We're gonna set a static IP address of 192.168.0.100 locally. We are going to then plug in all of our equipment and completely power off the OC220 controller. And then as we seat the power in the micro USB, we are going to press and hold the pinhole with something like a paper clip. I should have added that in the items needed category. For me, I found a little, drill bit. That's how that, while holding. So first we're gonna press and reset that pinhole. While holding that reset, we're going to reseat that micro USB to power it on. And we are going to keep holding reset until we see an LED sequence complete. So what you're going to see is you're going to, after about 5, 10, maybe 15 seconds, you'll see essentially Ethernet 2 where we're plugged into. You'll see quick sequence of beeps after from the light, ultimately blinking from the light, ultimately after we go through, and you'll see a sequence of cloud and power, etc. So what that will do is it will reveal essentially the web interface for recovery, which is going to live at 192.168.0.253. But in order to touch it, it's looking specifically for a host coming from 192.168.0.100. So that's why we have to set it statically up front. So it can take 30 to 60 seconds. I thought it was, sooner for me, but ultimately that's probably the best practice. Wait 30 to 60 seconds, and then you should be able to navigate, turn off your Wi-Fi, and just go directly through whatever NIC you're using to make sure that that's the only place that we are actually calling from when we land at 192.168.0.253. So step 1, configure your network. So I'm going to show you how to do this on my side, but we'll just go through the steps first. Static IP address is 192.168.0.100 locally. We're going to make sure that there's an IPv4 address, of course, but we're going to do that manually. IP address, we're going to set manually at 192.168.0.100. In the subnet mask, we're going to do 255.255.255.0. So masking tracking 3 octets, and router is going to be empty, DNS is going to be empty, and then we need to make sure that we apply that. That's the instructions on Mac. For Windows, extrapolate accordingly. All right, so step 1 for configuring the network on a Mac is I'm going to hit Command Space, which brings up our Spotlight search, and I'm going to start typing network. We're going to look for network that has a little symbol that looks like a gear wheel. That takes us into our settings. Here's our network settings. And what you're likely going to see on the NIC is something that tells you what the NIC is and self-assigned IP by default. So to change that, we are going to go to details. And if you do not see this service, you're going to want to look down here in other services, find the one, and then make active. But if it's already appearing here, then we're going to go right in here and we are going to go into details. First thing I like to do is make sure if limit IP address tracking is on. I turn that off just to reduce any sort of masking or anything that might be an issue based on the rules written for approaching the recovery page. So first thing, TCP. Here's the IPv4. We're going to want to bring that down to manual, and the IP address we want to set is going to be 192.168.0.100. And when we get down to the masking, we're going to want to do 3 octets with 255, another 255.0, and we're going to go ahead and press OK on that. Now I'm just going to jump back right in here. So TCP, this is how you should be looking. Manual 192.168.0.100, 255.255.255.0. DNS, just make sure you don't have anything in there. If you do, remove it. Step 2, we are going to do the physical parts with the OC220. We're going to completely power off, press and hold the reset pinhole, and while holding reset, we are going to apply power to that micro USB. Keep holding that reset until the LED sequence completes, and then we're going to release reset only after we see those LEDs blink and wait 30 to 60 seconds to make sure that controller comes back online so we can talk to it again. All right, so we have our Omada controller. We got our micro USB. I've got a little drill bit that I'm using for this. So make sure we've got this connected into ETH2, if you can see that, and we've got that connected into our MacBook. We're going to first and foremost make sure that we have our reset. I kind of held down, so I've got that going. Now I'm going to see this micro USB right there. Now this is the light sequence you should see. So essentially it's gonna flip cloud, power, and then we should start seeing some blinking over onto the ETH2 port after 5 to 10 seconds. There we go, boom. So we have now enabled the web interface for reset at this point. And then we're finally going to go into our browser and we are going to browse to that recovery interface. You should see a button there that says confirm and apply. I'll show you how to do that now. So now that we have reset our physical controller hardware, we are going to go to a browser. I will use Chrome here. And the first thing we want to do is go to 192.168.0.253. And as you can see here, very concerning, 192.168.0.253 refused to connect. Oh, well, I have a feeling that might be because it doesn't like HTTPS. So let's try HTTP. And there it is. Cool. So we've hit recovery mode and you can see here's the controller, and now you've got the option to reboot or factory reset. I'm going to go ahead and press factory reset, and I'll be able to go ahead and log back into this, find it on my network either by its DHCP IP from my gateway, or hit this IP again and start the configuration process from the beginning. So appreciate you guys, and we will see you in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.